So Slimmy, I saw somebody say something about accountability. So now my question to you is what's the difference between censorship and accountability? Like what do
What do
you
you
think?
mean? What's the difference?
Like is he just being held accountable for what he said or is it censorship? Like what's the difference to you?
Okay, so who was he talk? What did he say that was problematic?
He
Mhm.
lied about the MAGA situation.
Stop. Stop. That's not problematic. What did he say that was problematic?
Well, you know that's your opinion. I
What
stated
did
a
he
fact.
say that was problematic?
I
That
just
was
told you.
damaging. That was damaging to somebody. That is any more different than any joke he's ever told. What was so problematic
Oh
about what
no,
he
he
said?
still should have been taken off. He should have been taken off a long time ago.
What was so problematic about what he said? Because he
I just
didn't even
told you.
talk about Charlie Kirk. So what
I
was so
just told you.
problematic about what he said?
I
Because
just
they
told
said it was about his comments about Charlie Kirk. So is it really not Charlie Kirk? Because then that means you're hiding what you really fired him for, which
He didn't.
goes in.
He didn't
you. More than
even.
likely,
Listen, it
I'm
wasn't
reading.
even a joke that he made, Slimmy. He first of all, it was a false narrative based off of the evidence that's been presented. Now we can debate the evidence, so we can go back and forth and
Come
say,
on, man.
how you gonna ask a question that you don't want to know the answer to?
Because Mika already talked about. We not don't give me this same answer that Mika just gave me for
So
10
it's a
minutes.
rhetorical question then.
No, it's not.
So basically, what you're saying is you don't accept.
What did he say that was so
So
problematic?
you
Mika
don't
already
accept.
said that.
So you don't accept Mika's answers.
Mika already said that. So we
So
already
you
covered
don't
that.
accept her answer, is what you're saying.
Uh, he said other stuff. So what else was
Well, I didn't watch
problematic?
the other stuff. I watched the clip of what he did say.
That's what I'm talking about. In that clip, he said more than one thing. So what else was problematic?
What do you mean? What else is how many more problematic situations do you have to have?
Jesus Christ. So because he said something about a shooter, the supposed shooter, that's problematic to you. That's that problematic to get
I mean,
fired.
this listen. I think you're missing what we're saying.
No, I'm
I'm
not
not.
missing anything. I'm asking
How
you
are you
what
not
was
missing
problematic.
anything if you're not even? Give me a second. I think you're missing what we're saying. I'm not. My argument, and I don't know if you were listening, if you're conflating what me and Mika are talking about, because me and Mika got two different opinions. My argument was that they were looking to get rid of him because he wasn't relevant on the network as much as he used to, and the network was.
Anton, you
Let
deflecting.
me give me a
I asked
second.
you a
Just give me,
question.
let me.
What was
Slimmy,
problematic?
can you give me 1 second?
Come on, man.
Can you give me 1 second, Slimmy? My argument is not problematic or not problematic. If you want to ask Mika that question, then that's cool. My argument is completely different than Mika's. What I'm saying is this nigga didn't read the room. He didn't have to have a conversation about it, and he knows that this is a subject that is super sensitive. It was a dumb statement to make at this particular time, especially considering assassination. He lied about the fact that, and this is all based off of the evidence. He lied about who, what side of the fence that the shooter was supporting. And more importantly, he also was already under a microscope as far as getting removed from the network. And so this is not censorship because he can still go on and do whatever the fuck he want to do. But at the same time, he just didn't make a smart move. I think I've been saying since the beginning that I believe that it's a financial decision. I don't think that they wanted him at the network anymore. And this is a way for them to be able to get rid of his contract. Now he can go and do whatever the fuck he want to do. But you have an obligation to uphold what you're supposed to do. And it's an at-will job. They don't need a reason, but I'm pretty sure that it helps void his contract.
Okay, so you moved the goalpost.
I
The
didn't.
question was about is it accountability or censorship? And I asked y'all what was so
I
problematic
don't
about
think
what he
that he's
said.
being censored. I don't think that he's being censored. I
So
think
you're
that
not
that's
gonna answer the question because you don't think what I'm saying is accurate.
what are you talking
I'm
about, son?
asking you what was so problematic about what he said because he didn't really talk about Charlie Kirk. They said his comments about Charlie Kirk's death. There was
If you're
nothing
talking about
problematic.
the shooter and you're making it
Man,
political at
come
a
on,
time where
bro.
if you don't want to accept what it is that's being said, that's cool. And like you said,
Shooter.
Mika explained it a while ago, which I don't
And,
even think that I was on camera because I had to go and make a run really quickly. So
and
I
why
didn't
do
hear what
y'all
she
keep
said.
talking? So why do y'all keep saying the same things? I'm
Because I
trying to.
didn't even hear what she said. Slimmy, I just told you that I had to step away. I texted y'all and I dropped it in the back chat that I had to go and walk away. So if I'm repeating something that she said, it's because I didn't hear what she said in the first place. You know I had to step away.
There was nothing wrong with what Jimmy Kimmel said, man. There was
Okay.
nothing wrong, man.
All right.
Come on, man. Come on. Now is the wrong time. Like, come on, man.
Okay,
These
cool.
people do this stuff all the time. It's because what folks don't like when they talk about this group, just the same way as people when they talk about the other group.
Okay.
I don't understand, man.
I
This
just
is
think what he
insane.
was distasteful. It was distasteful, and it was the wrong time. So
You listen, you have an obligation to
I got a quick
uphold the
question.
values of the organization that you work for, especially when there's big money and entertainment involved. If the majority, because I don't know if you understand the chain of events, the majority of the stations that he was being simulcast to made the decision that they wanted to drop him from being shown on whatever it is that they showing in their regions because he was affecting the money. And whether you believe it or not, a lot of these different organizations are political. Like they pick and choose who they want to advertise on. I'll give you an example. When Elon Musk bought X, Elon Musk was complaining because they started politicizing the fact that he bought, or Twitter. All of these companies have said because everybody was advocating against advertising on Twitter. And so Elon Musk was mad because he was like, yo, what is going on? Y'all can't cancel me. Y'all can't say that these organizations, all of these car companies, all of these big companies that was advertising on Twitter before, why are they pulling all of their ads now? Is that a form of censorship? Or is that them choosing not to do business with him at that particular time because they didn't want to be involved in that political climate? They didn't want their name attached to Elon Musk. You can't have it both ways. You can't say that they're censoring him because they removed Jimmy Kimmel, but if an organization chooses not to advertise on a platform because they don't like your political stance, is that a form of censorship also? We like to apply it because it makes sense in our minds and we want this to fit in this little narrow space that we like to justify because we believe that there's always some ulterior motive that's attached to it. But what makes that argument weak is that we're not consistent across the board. These same talking points don't apply when it comes to the right or when it comes to the left in the same way that it comes to the right. You can get away with it when you do it over here, but you can't get away with it when it does it over here because that's censorship. I don't
That's how
understand.
you
I
contradicting
don't
yourself.
understand how we pick and choose. Listen, it
That's
don't
it.
matter. It doesn't matter if it was right or wrong in our eyes. The only thing that matters is if you are up. I'm pretty sure with all of the producers, all of the people that's involved with Jimmy Kimmel's show, ABC, Disney, he got 1,000 different people that work for him, and you telling me that nobody talked to this nigga and said you probably shouldn't mention Charlie Kirk on this show. You probably should keep it G, and he probably did it anyway. He said, I'm going to do what I'm going to do when I want to do it, and they can't tell me what to do, and he fucked around and found out. I guarantee you don't have that many layers of management and people, especially that's aware of what's happening in the political landscape, and they're probably telling this nigga, keep it cool. As a matter of fact, I just read a report, and I was supposed to be doing a reaction video, my last reaction video to it, because I recorded a bunch of other reaction videos. And they said, the reports are saying that ABC asked this nigga to tone it down and not to attack certain talking points and to keep it cool for the advertisers because it's not a good time and it's insensitive to talk about something like this. This nigga did it anyway. He went against his bosses. He fucked around and found out, and they was already looking to can his ass. And if the advertisers don't like it because the advertisers are the ones that generate the revenue on the show, then you fucked. And he got a boss, and he signed a contract and he has to represent the company and he didn't. So this ain't got nothing to do with censorship. This is more insubordination than anything. If they told this motherfucker to shut up and he wanted to talk anyway and do what he want to do, you can't do that on your job.
Checkmate.
You can't do that on your, that's not censorship. That's you
very much
being an
censorship.
insubordinate employee. Jimmy Kimmel can go and talk on any other platform and
That's
say what he want to
censorship.
say when he want to say it. That's not censorship. Y'all got to learn the definitions of words. Censorship is you can't say nothing on no platform and you up out of there.
No, there's
You
several
getting
forms
fired
of
for
it.
not doing your fucking job.
There's
That's what
several
that is.
forms
That's
of it.
insubordination. Y'all don't understand. That's not censorship. That's not censorship.
So
He does not work. He does not work for an organization that is not a publicly traded company. You can't do what the fuck you want to do on other people's dime. Now, you can do whatever you want to do on your own time. And remember, this is not a cancellation of freedom of speech. It's free. You're not free from consequences. You can go and talk and do whatever you want to do. You're just not going to make $16 million a year doing it.
And why is he entitled to that job, right? Because okay, we're all on Anton's platform. If Anton says you cannot say this word, is Anton censoring us, or is it his platform and he has rules of engagement on his platform or code of conduct on his platform of how you're going to conduct yourself and what he deems to be a great representation of his platform, and then what he deems it not to be, because this is a private entity and you have a contract with them, right? So at the end of the day, it's almost like you're saying that the censorship comes from the fact that you can't say what you want to say, and you can't even say what you want to say to the average person. You walk up to the average person and say,
I want to read something really quickly.
Go ahead.
Literally, the First Amendment, when it comes to censorship, for everybody that don't understand, the First Amendment protects against censorship imposed by law, but does not protect against corporate. The restraint of speech of spokespersons, employees, or business associates by threatening monetary loss or loss of employment or loss of access to the marketplace. The First Amendment protects you against censorship imposed by law. So the federal government in the United States of America, you can say what you want to say about the president. You can say what you want to say about the Congress members, Senate, and all of that. But it does not protect you against losing your job because of monetary loss associated with what it is that you're saying about that company. It's very black and white and it's very basic. You can't work for somebody else and say what you want to say when you want to say it. You abide by their rules.
That would make sense
Censorship.
too. You can put that would make sense too, because you could potentially damage the company's image, which can affect their bottom line. So
I got a thought.
Which goes back to my original point. It's money. It's financial.
Do y'all remember Don Imus when he said those are some nappy head hoes? Why was he fired? Everybody thought those comments were egregious, right? But why was he? Is he being censored? No, everybody was like, yeah, I kind of see why he got fired. Nobody advocated for him to get fired, but the company that he worked for was like, nah, we don't want to be associated with you calling somebody nappy head hoe. And I didn't see not one person saying, oh my God, this is censorship. Nah, you understood why that company got rid of him. You understood it.
Just because you understood it doesn't mean it's not censorship, though. I'm just going to read the definition of censorship.
I got it right here too.
Suppression.
Suppression means forcibly
to
put an end to.
Hold on. Before you read that, I asked
forcibly put an end to. That's what
hold on. I
suppression
asked you a
means.
question before you read that. I asked you a question. When Don Imus said nappy head hoes, was he being censored? Yeah. And were you this vocal about it?
Well, it's like Slimmy just said, though, you're vocal about the things that you don't agree with.
It could
Hold
be a
on,
very
Slimmy. Hold on. Wait. Slimmy likes
It
to
could be a
be.
very
Slimmy
broad.
likes to be
Okay,
accurate
hold on. Wait a minute.
and across the board. So let's speak to just
If
that.
somebody come, I'm not gonna say no names. If somebody comes on here and they using the hard ER, and I say, stop using the hard ER on my platform because you fucking up the money. Am I censoring them? Is that a form of censorship?
Why
I
are you
think
saying
it
that
would be
anyway?
I get
censoring
why there's
him.
No, let's answer the question. Is that a form of censorship?
I guess yes, it would be.
I
All,
So
think
it is a form. It is a form of censorship, right?
yeah, so then all of this would be.
So you can use the broad definition to apply to anything. But because we are intelligent creatures and we understand that as it is applicable to what it is that we're talking about right now, censorship with regard to the First Amendment or censorship when it comes to you being able to say what you want to say versus censorship and what we talking about as far as how you not fucking up the money, which goes back to my original point when I said that this is a financial thing. This don't have nothing to do with your removal of your First Amendment right to be able to say what you want to say when you want to say it. We can apply it broadly to anything. But when it comes to this situation as to why Jimmy Kimmel was removed, it had nothing to do with his First Amendment right. It had everything to do with the fact that he was fucking up the money.
No, it had everything to do with he said something that they didn't want it, that he said something about somebody that they didn't want him to.
I got it. Okay.
I mean, Anton, it's kind of you just
So
said
how can you prove that? How can you prove that?
you just said it was censorship.
I say you can use a broad definition of censorship because it's applicable to anything.
Yeah, but if that's
You
not
you can literally a child in your household can say, "Mommy, fuck you," and you can say, "Don't say that." You're censoring that child from saying what they want to say.
right, but I don't think
So we can use a broad definition to apply it, but when we use in our real, okay,
Because they only call it
Oh,
censorship when they don't
but-
like it. They only,
but-
Anton, they're
You
only
got it.
calling it censorship when they don't like it. Because
No,
that's like,
because I
no,
literally
hold
no
on.
stop. Y'all
Hold on,
gotta stop
hold
doing
on.
that. Don't
Because
say
y'all
don't say
got
when
it.
they
You
don't
got it.
like
Y'all
it.
I
win.
didn't say you.
Because I just proved
hold
a
on.
valid point
I didn't
when
say
Jimmy
Slimmy.
Kimmel
I didn't say
was saying
Slimmy.
what they wanted him to say about the jab, it wasn't
We are
censorship then.
being general. I said they being general. Wasn't saying Slimmy. I was saying they, meaning you want to call it censorship when you don't like it. But I just seen somebody in the chat say, okay, well, when Don Imus said nappy head hoes, that's different. Well, what's different? Well, what's different? You didn't like what he said. That's difference. That's the difference. So when you don't like it, it's fine. When you do like the comment, because most of y'all don't like Charlie Kirk, okay? When you do like the comment, it's fine. They can say it. No, offensive is offensive. You can paint that with a broad brush just like you can with censorship. Okay? It's technically all censorship, but the censorship is allowed when it is attached to an entity. Because again, if I have a corporation and I wanted to be conservative women, I'm not going to have Cardi B up here. I'm not going to have Cardi B up here because she doesn't represent my company well. And I'm going to tell her, you know, that outfit you got on, you either change it or you're going home. I'm censoring the way she's dressing. Yes, but it's my company. I can do that. So it has nothing to do with her First Amendment right. She can go and look like a hoe outside, but she won't do it in my company. And that's the difference. It's context. We get to paint everything with a broad brush when we don't like something or when we like something. That's all I'm saying.
You just said it was censorship too, right?
Because because you guys are when you don't put things into context and you just use the word and you just use a word without an actual context, then you actually get yourself into trouble. This is the reason why they have laws and codes and USCs. That this is the reason why they have those things, because you have to put things into context. This is the reason why they have statutes.
I gave you
have
more
to
than
put
enough
things
context, Mika.
into context.
Mika, I gave you more than enough context. Come on now.
This is the reason why they have murder in the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, whatever degree.
You can't keep
The reason
saying
why they
things
have that
as
is
if you
because of
didn't get
context.
context.
I can't just say,
keep
well, you
saying that as
murdered.
if you
Hold on,
didn't
let me
get
finish. Let me
context.
finish. I can't just say, well, you just murdered somebody because you killed somebody, right? You may have killed them with intent or no intent. That's context. That's context. You still murdered somebody, but there's context there. Did you intend to do it or did you not intend to do it? That is the gray area. That is the context. So yes, it's censorship, but it's censorship in context. Am I doing it because this is my company and I don't think he represents it well? And by the law, you are at will, and by the contract, I can do this. Or am I infringing upon his First Amendment right? No, I didn't, because I didn't. The government is not saying that Jimmy Kimmel can't say nothing for the rest of his life like they do in Cuba, okay, or like they do in Russia.
Let me ask you a
I
question.
think hold on, wait. Let me just say this one more thing, and then you got it, Slimmy. I think the funniest part about this conversation is that these very same people that's complaining about getting removed and stuff, because I'm not even an advocate for anybody losing their way to provide for their family. Now, if a company decide that they want to remove you for financial reasons, that's a completely different conversation. I'm not a fan of removing people based off of or cheering somebody for losing their job. All right. But I do find it hypocritical that these very same people celebrated, championed, and pushed for Donald Trump and every other conservative and people that they did not like to be removed from their platforms. And Donald Trump was removed from every single fucking platform that you can think of. And everybody celebrated it. And they did it because they didn't like what he stood for from a political perspective. It was so hypocritical. And now we sitting here talking about censorship when nobody had this conversation back then, back in 2020, back in 2019.
I
It's
definitely did.
hypocritical because if we're going to be consistent, then we need to be consistent across the board.
I was
Don
very much
Lemon,
vocal. I was
Jimmy
very much vocal
Kimmel,
about it.
all of them thought it was cute. All of them made jokes about it. All of them advocated for it. All of them pushed it when it didn't benefit, when it benefited them. Now they're sitting here complaining about it when it doesn't benefit them, and they are the ones that's on the receiving end, and it don't benefit them.
Hold on. Wait. Hold on.
All of this shit is hypocritical, and that's why I don't even pay no attention to what these people are saying, because it's selective outrage. It's fake, and the only reason that they complaining about it is because it's now affecting them. That's the last thing I got to say about it. So
You're right. It is hypocritical. It is selective outrage. It is also censorship. Go ahead, Slimmy.
I want to say something to you, dick sucking motherfuckers in the chat.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
You piece of shit bitches. That was literally the first fucking thing I said, and you motherfuckers said, "Oh, don't Slimmy, you wrong." Now that Anton's saying the exact same thing I said, which is how I started my fucking argument. You bitches want to suck dick now. You motherfuckers are corny. Like, you really are corny as fuck.
That's not fair, Slimmy.
No, it is.
Let me tell
It
you why.
is. No, I'm talking to very specific people.
I know who you're
I'm talking to
but
very
it's not.
specific
You know why it's
people.
not fair, Slimmy? You know why it's
Why?
not fair? Because people go against me all the time.
No, I'm not talking about going against you, dog.
People go against me all
Anton,
day, every day.
I don't think you were here. I don't think you were here. Because the very first thing I started off saying was they they were censoring people about the jab. That's 2020. You just said that. You just spoke on that. That was the very first fucking thing that I said. And these motherfuckers was like, no, Slimmy, you don't know what you're talking about. You didn't give them context. I connected all the fucking dots. You dick sucking motherfuckers got to stop, man. You gotta stop. Man. Stop sucking so much dick, man.
Slimmy, maybe they agree with you on that point, but then they didn't agree with you when you added the further context to apply it to Jimmy Kimmel.
So
I don't know.
I saw what they was typing.
But
maybe they agreed with that point in the beginning, and then they were against the other points that you were making when you tried to
talk. Dog. Nah, I saw who. Now the motherfuckers quiet.
To talk to Kim's point,
maybe they like fellatio.
Yeah, they do.
You know,
bastards.
So I did more some more digging. Because I was wondering why, when I watched Jason Whitlock's show, he was talking about the FCC chair commenting before this happened. I couldn't really understand the relevance of it, and he made it a point to say that that was a government company, a government agency. So it says, what is censorship? It depends on how you define it and where you draw the line between editorial control and government pressure. So, editorial decision, ABC, a private company, decided to suspend the show. So, in one sense, it's a private company choosing content. Government pressure, there are reports that the FCC chair, a federal office, made public statements implying that if networks do not take action, there could be consequences, fines, loss of license for airing offensive or misleading content. Many critics are
Checkmate.
arguing
No, it's not checkmate because I already explained. No, to Keri's point, I've already explained that they have a contract with the government. ABC, NBC, and CBS have a contract with the government that they've had for decades. And in the contract, it says what you can do and what you can't do. If you break my contract, Slimmy, I can kick you out. I don't understand what you don't get about that.
So
no, don't.
So also says
Mika, don't do that. Don't do that. Please don't do that.
No, I'm
Please
saying
don't
what
do
I
that.
said.
Please don't do that.
I said that.
Keri finished?
Don't do that.
We're censoring Keri. Keri.
Oh, my fault.
So also said legally for something to be an unconstitutional censorship, i.e. violation of First Amendment, there generally needs to be direct government coercion, that an official or regulatory body use legal or regulatory power to suppress speech. It's not enough just for someone in government to say something critical. Courts tend to look for clear evidence or coercion or threat. So what's not clear is what role, like what the FCC really said. So then I asked for more from a legal standpoint. So it says there's a strong First Amendment argument that what happened to Kimmel crosses from private editorial discretion into unconstitutional government coercion, aka called jawboning. And jawboning is apparently when a government, oh my God, my eyes watering. I got him
We
talking
agree.
like this.
We agree on something.
A government threat, even implied, tied to speech. That's what jawboning is. So if a regulator signals take Kimmel off or face consequences, that's classic jawboning. The Supreme Court has long said officials can't use threats to pressure third parties to suppress speech they dislike. So it sounds like he has a fight that this technically could have been censorship if they did this as a result of
to do nothing, because again, he is in a right to work situation and he could be removed for any reason.
No, what I'm saying is it sounds like depending on what the FCC said to ABC, if the FCC, I guess, kind of like threatened ABC, like if y'all don't do something about this, then we're gonna do X, Y, and Z. Then it sounds like
he was already being removed from certain markets before the FCC ever got involved, which is one of the reasons why Disney decided to pull the show in the first place.
All I'm saying is, based off of what I'm reading now, and based off of the time of the FCC chairman publicly saying something, and then Jimmy getting fired or whatever he got, I'm just saying he could have at least a case if they threatened to do something if they did not get rid of him. Now, again, it also says that it can go this way or that way. So it might come down to lawyers. It might come down to, I don't know, but it sounds like it could go either way. I'm just going off of what I'm reading now.
Keri, I'm not listening to you right now.
Well, okay.
Because we don't want to hear nothing.
I didn't make this up.
First of all, because I don't want to hear nothing about anything you just said outside of jawboning.
I knew he was.
Oh my God! Go away! Go away!
Keri,
Oh
so
my
to talk to
God.
your point, they do have content restrictions.
And
ABC,
it's not my point.
ABC.
It's just
No. I'm saying
information.
to your point, yeah, the information that you were
But
just
yeah.
talking about. They have content restrictions. And according to the Communications Act of 1934, they have to operate in the public's interests, in the best of the public's interests, right? And according to their governmental contracts, they also have to make sure that they don't violate any of the broadcasting rules. So if there's something that is being said that I can point out, one, that's against the contracts that they have, and this is why I kept coming back to the legal part. I really don't care if Jimmy Kimmel stays or get fired because I don't watch him, so I really don't care,
I
and I
don't think
don't get mad.
anybody watch that shit no more
I don't
except
get
I don't
mad at
watch
people
that
that want
motherfucker
to.
neither. It don't matter though. It's still censorship. It don't matter. I don't watch that motherfucker. Corny.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. So okay. So Kim works with the flight attendants. There was a woman that got on the loudspeaker that was a flight attendant, and she was just talking about her bad day, and they fired her. You know what I'm talking about, Kim? The white lady that got up there and was talking about her bad day, and she was like, my husband, and all this other stuff. But she got fired. Okay, because nobody on the plane wanted to hear none of that nonsense. And
Well,
so what I'm
here's what
saying
I.
is
Oh,
that
go
so what
ahead.
I'm saying is
Sorry.
where does the where does the censorship have context? You have to have context. You can't just come in my establishment and say whatever the heck you want.
It's
Well, I
still
think that that's a. I think
And
that's
that's
a.
why I say it's
That's
not
a part.
censorship.
But I think that that's the tricky part of this, and I think it's probably going to boil down to the like their legal team if Jimmy were to try to fight it, because it seems like there is a very gray line, that it seems like it's a very gray line. And there, like, I'm also looking at, okay, can a company fire somebody for saying what they don't like? So there's all these different things that a company has the right to do with an at-will employee, a reputational damage, violation of company policy, hostile work environment, protected whistleblower, discrimination, freedom of speech versus workplace rights, company reputation, review company policy. So it also seems like there is a lot of loopholes for a company to fire somebody for
I
what
don't
they
think
say
that
as
they
well.
fired him, Kerry. They just
Well,
removed the show
I'm
from
sorry.
being on air.